Hello world, hello YouTube land, how you trumping? Well, the last videos I did, I complained that comic books aren't really for old gits like me, that they're more for young girls. So there are some comic books that particularly or specifically target people like me. Comic books like this one here, Highlander, #1. Unfortunately though, they don't target me because of the content of the comic book or what they're trying to say about the world as it is today. They target in me for nostalgic reasons, because they know that people like me grew up on the Highlander franchise and long for the days when it was good, and that was a very short window of time. You know, the original movie was good, second movie terrible, and all subsequent movies not worth watching. The TV series was quite good though. But yeah, old people like me have been hoping for a shot of adrenaline into the Highlander franchise for a long time now, and it just never seems to get off the ground. So a comic book, Highlander, The American Dream, #1, is a good opportunity for the franchise to get some new ideas, to test the water, to see what works, what doesn't work, what the people want. So when I found out that Highlander was coming out in the comic book, of course I'm going to buy it for nostalgia and to see if they've got any new ideas, which is going to relaunch the Highlander franchise. I've just read the comic book now, and there's no new ideas in it at all, unfortunately. From the beginning, they're admitting to the reader that this is pure nostalgia, because it's set in Manhattan in 1985. So it's going to completely ignore everything that's happened since the 80s. We're going to go back to the 80s. This is Lost Boys. Forget about the last 25, 30 years. We're going to go back somewhere where it's safe and talk about some nostalgic stuff. You don't have to do that with Highlander. There's so much interesting things that have happened in the world over the last 30 years, which the Highlander character could get involved in. Just so much potential for new storylines, but they've thrown all that out of the window and they've just gone back to the past. And what they've done here is they've done the least interesting thing they could possibly do. They got Connor McLeod working in New York as an art dealer. An old friend coming to meet him. The bridge. Nostalgia again. And then they've gone back to the flashback in American Civil War, which they've done lots of times in the TV shows, lots of American Civil War stuff, so nothing new. And a villain in the American Civil War for Connor to fight. And the rest of the comic book is all in the past, Civil War period. And it finishes in that Civil War period, not even going back to the present or to 1985. So all that the reader has to look forward to for issue #2 is to see Connor McLeod killing this villain in Civil War period time in America. No relevance, not even to the 80s, but certainly not to the world as it is today. It's probably the blandest, safest, most uninteresting Highlander story that I have ever read. There's no idea here. It's not a good story. The writer is not saying anything. He's not doing anything. Hasn't got any new ideas. Not trying anything new. All he's doing is using the Highlander name to tempt people like me to buy the comic book and relive the 1980s again. I am not going to buy issue #2, even though I really do love Highlander, because there's nothing happening in this comic book. There's no originality, no creativity, no new ideas. Connor McLeod stuck in 1985 story going back to American Civil War, doing stuff that the TV show has done, doing stuff that I'm sure the movies have done as well. Not an interesting time period, and just a bland villain for Colin MacLeod to fight. No relevance to anything that's happening at all in the world. No new direction. Completely stalled. This was a car. It reversed off the driveway, get into first. It wouldn't even stall. I think the engine would collapse. The car would be completely kaput. If this was a television show for a relaunch of Highlander, people would be complaining about it, and it'd be cancelled. The TV pilot would never be made into a regular TV show because it's that lame, that boring, that uninteresting, that lacking in anything which should make anybody want to jump on board and get excited about Highlander again. So I don't like doing these reviews. So I wanted it to be good, but what can you do? The writer, Brian Ruckley, has done a very, very poor job. So I'll end the video there. Disappointing as usual. Highlander. It's not going to get rebooted with this comic book, so we're going to have to keep on waiting. Thanks for checking my video out. Highlander, if you've read the book, let me know what you think of it. Am I missing something? I don't think that I am. Yeah, take care everybody, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.